country. I even tweeted that those who produced the Oxford English Dictionary should consider bringing a new concept called Balaam effect.
On chicken thieves?
No, there's general panic. All the civil servants are even talking in bars. Some are even looking at me now that, this Balaam may come. So, is arresting the micro thieves, maybe macro. But as a politician who has been in opposition for long, there are certain questions we should answer. President Amin left 17 properties for Uganda government in London. How comes there are only 2? There is the residence of the ambassador and the one at the Trafalgar Square. Who sold the other 15? Isn't that corruption? Uganda Dairy Corporation with branches all over Uganda was sold for $1. Isn't that corruption? Bank of Uganda with all the branches, BOU building, that you now call Cham Towers, was sold, and the annex, UCB, the annex was sold on Christmas Day. It was a gift, actually, on Christmas Day, the main building. So, Atiak Sugar, you have given Atiak Sugar in the north 700 billion shillings. We don't even have 1 spoon of sugar. Presidential Banana Initiative in Mbarara. This year we are giving them 15 billion shillings to improve the varieties of bananas. By now we expected to see bananas in sackets, not being brought in lorries. All those Lubawa Hospital, we have put 1.4 trillion shillings of taxpayers' money. The whole Committee of Parliament, Honorable Miru, Parliament did not advise that government should inject money in Lubawa Hospital. I'm glad it is picking up. But 1.4 trillion shillings. So this corruption initiative is just what my late father used to tell me, that it is a bad eyes law. You know, it's a cobweb law. When you put a cobweb, it is only the flies that will get stuck. But the birds will just come and pass through. So Lumumba, Justin, near me here, my good friend, you are not scared of Balaam. You are in a different league. They are in a different league. It is the people down there who are saying Balaam may be coming. None of the ministers is scared of Balaam. Oh, someone has used a bridge for 1.5 billion. It's okay. But what about the corruption at the ministerial level? What about the corruption at the governmental level? What about the properties of Uganda government that we know the buyer is the seller? You know these things. There is a whole committee of parliament chaired by Honorable Okumurigan that tried to find out who are the shareholders of Uganda Property Holdings Limited. Uganda Property Holdings Limited is a company that manages all our properties abroad. In UK, in Netherlands, I even went to the other one in Belgium, in Nigeria, Transocean Land, in Tanzania, in Dar es Salaam, in Mombasa. They have sold most of our properties, and a whole committee of parliament even failed to find out who the shareholders of Uganda Property Holdings Limited are. A whole committee of parliament.
Okay.
Not even that. Government, even government now is paying rent in its own building to Uganda Property Holdings Limited. The building belongs to government, but the government is still paying rent in their own building. So you go and kill those people constructing bridges in Pade, put them on fire squad, but the thieves have lead vehicles. This is where the battle is. The thieves, they even clear way for thieves. They are the thieves in this government. We are not going to be scared.
Honorable Lumumba, you get a sense that the public perception is that the fight is more of a facade and it's targeting the small fish.
That is their opinion, not the public. They constitute part of the public. But what I can say about this is that nobody is above the law, with the exception of the president when he's in leadership. That is so clear in the Constitution. And my colleagues who are talking here, the beauty of it is that they have also ever held responsibility, where they were given responsibility, facilitated by taxpayers, being paid tax salaries to fight corruption, to be part of the systems to fight corruption. Because when we look at it is Parliament that approves the budget, and it's the responsibility of Parliament to oversee the work that is implemented by the executive. And in that, the structures that have been put in place for them to be able to do their work is that they have committees allocated. Different ministries report to different committees of parliament, and accountability committees in parliament are chaired by the opposition.
Yeah.
So they are chaired by the opposition. And even when they've made their report on the floor of parliament, they give a time to the committee, to the executive, to come back and report back on the resolutions that have been passed. And if it has ever happened, it was happening in last term, beginning last term. And that has been happening. If they're not satisfied with the responses from the executive, then they have, it also stipulates how they can still bring out this. That's one. Two, parliament, where the opposition also has leadership, we have the auditor, office of the Auditor General. That audits the whole of Parliament. Why did they put it as an office of Parliament? Is because they audit the work of the executive, the expenditure of the executive. Then the reports are taken to Parliament, and those reports are given to the different accountability committees to hold the executive accountable. They, as the opposition, committees which they chair, they've not. It is them to come and hold us accountable for as executive. It is so. You cannot sit here and talk like you are not part of the system. You have been, or you are still part of the system, and that is one part. The second part is that when we are getting loans, we still go back to Parliament. And we account for what has been done with the previous loan, especially in that sector, and what this money is going to do, with even time frames and what not. Even the conditions are part of that. It is the responsibility of the Parliament to really say if this is out of if this is what it shouldn't be, or they feel that should not be. But also, nevertheless, when you bring up the issue of the engineers who were suspended just recently, who brought out this? It was brought out by the Minister of Works himself. In the first cabinet, the president told him, come and explain to me what you have been telling me about corruption in the sector. And he explained. And before they came, the president had been meeting those engineers and the president. And after that, what happened is what you have explained. But how did this come? And that's why you see some of the things have changed. Like when we brought the issue of the issues of emerging these agencies back to what? To the ministries, rationalization. Some of the agencies had grown wings and they had become goddesses in their own style, or gods. You find an agency under a ministry, and they had forgotten that the minister is the supervisor and the PS is the technical supervisor, and they had become so many, and they were making mistakes without anybody checking. An agency would leave and go to finance, and finance takes a decision even to fund them without consulting the minister or the PS. So rationalization also came up to solve such problems. Let me give an example. You see the road of the Busega Road, the Kampala Busega Road that they talk about. It started at around 580 billion. We were supposed now to compensate people along the way to expand that road. Then the technical people came up and said, you know, when we take it to the, when we now work on the main road and expand, it will require